Hi, my name is Kelsey and I'm a teaching artist in the PACE Art program, an arts integration program of the Acadiana Center for the Arts in the Lafayette Parish school system in Lafayette, Louisiana. Today, we're going to be learning about the parts of a story and how we can act that out using our bodies. All you need is your body and a piece of paper for later in the lesson. We're going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up so our bodies are nice and ready to move. You can go ahead and move your head side to side. Move with me. Just switch your head side to side. And now we're going to look down. Go ahead, look down and up like you're nodding a big yes. And now look side to side, a big no. Awesome. Now, squeeze those shoulders at the top and drop them down. Squeeze the shoulders and drop. Squeeze and drop. And one more. Squeeze and drop. Make big circles with your shoulders, moving back. Really big circles. And now do those circles moving forward. Really big circles. Very good. Reach those arms up super tall and touch your toes. Super tall arms, touch the toes. Super tall arms and touch the toes. Very good. Go ahead and spread your legs just a little bit, and I'm going to touch my legs side to side. Move with me. Touch your foot side to side. Very nice. Just making sure our bodies are ready to move. You can wiggle those fingers just a little bit. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle those fingers. Wiggle your elbows. Wiggle your shoulders. Wiggle your tummy. Wiggle those hips. Wiggle your knees. Wiggle your toes. Very good. Now we're going to practice our blast off for later. Get really low like this. Crouch down really low. And then when I say go, you're going to jump up really high like you're blasting off in a spaceship. Ready? And go. Blast off. Awesome. Crouch down really low. And blast off! One more time. Get really low with me. And blast off. Awesome. We should be nice and warm and ready to move for our story. Today we're going to be looking at storytelling and different parts of the story. But before we jump into that, we're going to start with me reading you a very short story, and you are going to help me act it out with your body. That means that as I'm reading, I'm going to tell you what to do, how you can help me tell this story with your body. So we're going to start from the beginning. Just listen close and we'll move through it. This story is about a space adventure. I love space, so I hope you love it as much as me. This is it. All systems go. Time for the final countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Now, what do you think happens when there is a blast off, right? You would maybe jump up really high. So right now, I want you to get really low down on the ground. Get really low. And now you're going to count down with me. Go ahead. Count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Jump really high into the air, as high as you can. Nice job. And that's your spaceship taking off. We're in orbit. What does orbit mean? Yeah, it's kind of moving around in a circle, like the Earth moves around the sun. So go ahead. Walk around in a circle. Use your whole body and pretend like you're orbiting, just like this spaceship. Nice job. Let's get ready for a spacewalk. We'll need our spacesuit and our boots and gloves and helmet. Whew, we gotta get ready. So let's get our spacesuit on. Go ahead and pretend like you are putting on your spacesuit. So go ahead and step in, put your pants on and your top on and zip it up. Now you have your spacesuit on, very nice. We also needed our boots. They're probably big and heavy, so you can pick them up and put on those boots. Very nice. And you also need those gloves, so grab your gloves and put those on. And last but not least, your helmet. Go ahead and grab that helmet. Put it on your head. Perfect. Now we are ready for that spacewalk. What's outside? Look out the window. Can you pretend you're looking out the window in your spaceship? You could look like this. Try it. Maybe you see something. Point to it. Fabulous. Can you spacewalk your way to the broken satellite and repair it? How do you spacewalk? Right, there's no gravity up there, so it kind of moves really slow. So right now, I want you to pretend like you are spacewalking. Let's try it. I'm going to move really slowly as I spacewalk to fix this broken satellite. Awesome job. Now we need to repair the satellite. So what do you think that looks like? What would you do to repair the satellite? Right, go ahead and try it. Show us what that looks like. I might be tinkering with that satellite and doing what I can to fix it. Maybe it needs some hammering. Maybe it needs a little tweaking. Show me what you would look like if you were repairing that satellite. Great job. Life on Mars? You're the first astronaut on the big red planet. What will you find? What do you think you would find on Mars? Now show me what you would look like if you found something on Mars. Maybe you're looking around. Show me how you look around as you spacewalk. What would you find? Maybe pick it up. Check it out. Awesome job. Back to Earth. The shuttle lands on a runway just like a jet plane. Do you think it's a smooth landing, or do you think it happens really fast? Show me what you would look like if you were landing in a shuttle. Right, maybe you go down really slowly. Or maybe you jump and land. Show me what you look like landing in your shuttle. Very good. See you soon for another adventure in the terrific spaceship. Next, we're going to be drawing your very own story about your trip to the moon. So, first thing we're going to do is take a piece of paper, any blank piece of paper. You're going to stand it up tall like this and then fold it in half. So you have 1/2 paper. Then you're going to fold it in half again. So your paper looks like this. Half and half again. Then when you unfold your paper, Then you have 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have 4 sections on your empty piece of paper. Now, in the first section, this is going to be the beginning of our story. So let's talk about what do you need to have at the beginning of your story. The first thing you need to have is your characters. This is who's going to be in your story about your trip to the moon. So think about who would be in your story about your trip to the moon. Could be just you. Maybe you're bringing somebody with you, your mom, your friend, your brother. Who is going to be the characters in your story? The next thing we need to think about is the setting. The setting of the story is where this takes place. Now, it's a trip to the moon, so most of the story would take place on a spaceship or a rocket or something like that. That would be the setting of your story. And that's how we start the beginning of your story. So, in the first section, you're going to draw a picture of how your story starts, the beginning of your story. In my picture, I have the characters, me, and my dog, and the setting is the spaceship. So you can go ahead and draw a picture of the characters and the setting of your spaceship. You might also draw a picture of maybe what you're packing for this adventure. Remember who you're bringing with you. Draw your picture. Maybe what your spaceship looks like. You might have your house in this picture. You could draw a house over here. But make sure you have your characters and your setting. You can pause this if you need to draw your picture in the first section. In the second section, that will be part of the middle of your story. In the middle of your story, there needs to be some kind of problem. So you run into a problem on this trip to the moon. Let's say we've already taken off, or maybe you're taking off. So in the second section, you're going to draw a picture of what kind of problem you run into on your trip to the moon. My problem is that an asteroid is coming straight for my spaceship. This asteroid is a problem, right? So what kind of problem might you run into on your trip to the moon? You could draw a picture. Maybe an asteroid is coming towards you. Maybe you run into some aliens. Maybe you had trouble taking off. Your rocket ship didn't blast off right away. So in this second section, go ahead and draw a picture of what is the problem in your story. What do you have to solve? You can pause if you need to finish drawing your picture. In the third section, we continue the middle of our story. And this is where you have to solve that problem. How do you fix that problem that you ran into? For me, this asteroid just clipped the wing of my spaceship, so I had to exit and fix it. Did an asteroid hit your spaceship, and how did you fix it? If you ran into aliens, what did you do? How did you get around that? Or if you had trouble taking off, how did you fix it? In your third section, go ahead and draw a picture of how you solved that problem in the middle of your story. Then in the last section, we have the end of the story. How does this story end? How were all these problems solved? Did you make it? What did you find when you got there? I drew a picture of me and my dog landing on the moon. You could draw a picture of what it was like when you got to the moon. What did you see? What was it like when you got there? You might draw that you ran into some aliens, or maybe you found some special discovery. In your fourth section, go ahead and draw a picture of how your story ends. how were all of those problems solved? Now that we have our drawing of our trip to the moon story, we're going to be acting it out just like we did earlier with our first story. So you're going to be using your whole body to act out your story. We're going to go ahead and move through my story first, and then once you've had a little practice, you can check out your story and act it out. Maybe even make a couple more stories so you can act them out using your whole body. So I'm going to put my story right over here. Now, in the beginning, we need a spaceship, so I'm going to use my body to make the shape of this spaceship. My head is the window. And then, in the story, there's me and my dog. So we're walking over to the spaceship. Walk with me. And climb in. Now first, you might want to check all the dials, so I'm in my spaceship. I'm checking things out, flipping those switches. Depending on what's happening in your story, you might be moving differently. And this is the beginning of my story. Next, we are taking off. So, I'm going to try our blast off. I'm going to get really low like this, and then blast off, and now we're floating in the spaceship. Show me how you might float around once you're in space. You might move really slow like this. But then we see that asteroid coming. If you're the asteroid, you might be moving really fast. Ready, go! And then it hits your spaceship. So how could we show that's happening? Maybe they're coming together and boom, they hit like this. Next in the story is where we solve that problem. So I have to exit the spaceship. Open the door. And you float out of the spaceship. Close the door. And now I have to fix that spot where the asteroid hit my ship. I have to solve that problem. So I'm floating in space and I'm fixing this part of my spaceship. Very nice. And then I have to get back in. And now me and my dog are on our way to the moon. So we're floating around. Show me how you're floating in your spaceship until you land on the moon. You can maybe jump and land like this. Very good. Land one more time. And me and my dog are so excited that we've landed on the moon. You might celebrate in slow motion. You might look around. Go ahead and look around the moon to see what it's like. You could pick up a moon rock. You might tuck that away. And that's the end of my trip to the moon story. Now, take some time, check out your story, and I want you to act it out. Using your whole body, show what's happening in your story without using any words. We'll be posting a new lesson every day at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for kindergarten, first, and second grades, each tied to the academic curriculum. Some lessons will be in visual arts and some in creative movement, so be sure to come back and make art with us tomorrow. If you're interested in supporting programs like this, you can donate to the Acadiana Center for the Arts, the nonprofit who manages the PACE program, using the link in the description. Help keep our teaching artists working, share our videos, and keep making art.